Hey guys, Daily here. Welcome back to Let's Play Kickle Cubicle. In today's episode, last time we beat Cake Land, and in today's episode we're going to deal with Toyland. Don't worry too much. This is one of the worst levels in Toyland, I swear. So, and the first thing you want to do is, put these down. Yeah. This level may be a thing, but we'll see what we can do. Alright, the first thing you have to remember, however, is that the ice pops are solid. Right. There are two ways of doing this. There's the long way, which involves ice pillars, and the shorter, more dangerous way, which I'm at least going to see if I can do first here. So, as you can see... Really? Yeah, the problem with Kickle is that he doesn't move diagonally very well. So you have to be very careful. I'm gonna try it like maybe 2 more times, because the thing... Really? The thing is that, the ice pillar way isn't that much safer. Again, it's not about... There we go. So, basically, what you're going to do is, if you try and do it this way, is you gotta try and move a zigzag path, and don't disturb the ice pops. But obviously, that's not working. So... we're gonna do this instead. You just stay out of the way. And put that there. Good. Now up and up. Good. And up. Good. Gah! Yeah. The problem is, you've got to be precise in your movements with this method. You can do it the other way, but it will take, practice and timing. So, just stay out of his way. Yeah, and of course, the problem is that if you don't put those two down pretty fast, you'll change... These guys are called gales, by the way. And they're nasty. There we go. So, yes, the plan is basically to, wait until there's nobody, wait until nothing is bouncing off of these areas, and keep, use the fact that the ice pops are solid to your advantage. Block yourself in with the ice pillars and wait. Make sure, wait until there's nobody bouncing around in this area. And there we go. Ah! Yep, see? I did it again. You've got to be... The problem is that you've got to be able to turn to one side, without moving. That's your biggest problem. In some ways, this is probably... yep. If you move too slow, if you do move too slow, this is a problem. And if this gets bad enough, I'm gonna cut out some of my failures here. These guys are called gales. They are probably the worst enemy in this game, in my opinion. There we go. There we go. There we go. That was close. Alright. Oh, shoot. There. See? You've got to be careful that you don't, that you do it when one of them's not going to sneak down. So it's all about patience and timing. If you're in the wrong direction and if you're not facing the direction you think you're facing, you can wind up very, very unhappy. Okay. There we go. Okay, good. 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 There we go. That was faster than it that was lucky. That was way lucky. Okay. There we go. Okay, we can pick this one up and pick that one up. Now basically, there we go. Okay. Well, that took longer than it really should have, but hey. Whew. Oh, that was fun, wasn't it? Okay, then. Moving on to the rest of Toyland. Yeah. Alright, this level, and as I said, the thing is... Okay, these guys, I'm not sure, I don't think they can kick blocks, but they can freeze you. So you want to be careful. They are called shades, because of course, they wear shades. And what you really want to do is just kick the block and use it as a shield. If they hit you with their ice breath, you'll freeze and, you know, die. Well, you don't die from being frozen, but then they can come up and hit you and you're gone. So, not necessarily that fun. Okay, this is not nearly as bad as it looks. So, just... Basically what you're doing is... You know, just wait until he goes past... Wait until the gale goes past the ice pop, and then move up through the ice pop. So, as you can see, that really wasn't that hard either. That first level really is way harder than most of Toyland. So, moving right along. Alright, so what you want to do here is you only get 3 noggles per side, and you actually have to fill 4 slots. So you do 3 noggles and then put down an ice block, or an ice pillar. Remember to keep, you know, keep everything frozen to block the cannon shots. But if you do that right, you're never exposed to cannon fire at all. So. Moving right along. And this level. It's not nearly as difficult as you might think. Okay, yeah. You see this guy? You can put that ice pillar down just to get rid of him. Now, of course, and then you just put that there and block him back. Because, of course, as you can see, there is always a fairly large gap to stand in. And then you can just ice pillar block the spine back where he can't hurt you anymore. And there you go. All that takes is knowing how spinies work. So, and we get Santa hats. Yeah, Toyland is really more Christmas land than Toyland, but I guess Toyland sounded better. Okay, this one is kind of interesting. It's one of the few where you need to have any kind of reflexes at all. Let's see, so you kick that, put that pillar down there, and kick that over. Now you're actually going to wind up doing that for the rest of the, whoop, there we go. For the, yeah, to get it on the other side. Just, yeah, you do that. Yeah, the whole thing is that you want to get really good at, you know, setting the pillar, you know, right in front of you very quickly. There we go. Oh! And don't get hung up. It's not hard, and you don't have to be fast, you just have to be, know exactly what you're doing and be precise with your movements. So, really not that bad. So, you can move him here, go back up, put that down, right, and then you do the same thing. See? Now set the, you just set the pillar quickly. Freeze it just to be safe. Move up, move down, move up. Set it in front of you just, to be safe. Get out of the way. Good. Now watch when it goes up. Hit set the pillar. And there you go. You have a lot of time because the ice block movement is pretty standard. Okay. And we get talked to by a boot. Our palace is said to have been hidden in a faraway world. If only I were young, I could fight together with you. Kickle, my boy, be careful. Good luck. So I guess he's an old boot. Okay then. So we move along. Yeah, Toyland is actually kind of small, comparatively speaking. Alright. So of course the first thing you want to do is get this one. And of course you push that and get like that, and it'll back and forth. Down. And down. Ha ha! And that blocks that one. The second is actually easier. Just wait. And wait. Wait for it. Push that out of the way, and move. And there you go. And we get creepy dolls. I guess they're supposed to be sort of rag dolls a la Raggedy Ann, but they look creepy. It's 8-bit. Alright, so we move along. This one. Okay, this is where they start getting a bit trickier. First, of course, we just want to get... let's get our... Get these bags. Okay, and... Alright, so... Let's see. You want to put a pillar on that end, and then you want to freeze both of these noggles. Well, you want to freeze that one noggle and kick from this side. Once the chicken comes out, he will kick the block here. And then you want to be very careful. There are a couple safe places to stand. Really, the only safe place to stand is here, so you kind of want to be a bit more careful with when you kick that block. Alright, so freeze him and shatter him, and then freeze him again. Good. Then, like that, and wait. Alright. Now you want to wait to kick this block until the spine has just turned around. There. Now you can follow the spiny back and get your bag without, getting killed. It's not, again, it's not about speed, it's about timing, knowing what to do when. So, that'll be fine. Alright. Okay, this is an interesting one. It's not hard, again, it's just maybe a little complex. So, of course, we kick these back and forth. Good. Oop. And that, my friends, is why you are careful with the rookers. There. Okay, so we're gonna we kick that one over. And now that we're up here, we can get this block. And then we're basically going to do the same thing in the other direction. Which is actually a little easier because you have more space. And there we go. Ooh, panda bears. Aren't they cute? So. Yeah, Toyland is where things start ramping up, but it won't really get hard until after the main storyline is over. Okay. Now, the first thing you want to do is, take those two, get rid of those 2 ice pops, leave these 2 ice pops, or you can you can pick up the ice pops, but then you have to put pillars down, because as soon as you do this, that will let those guys loose. Now at this point, we can start doing some of the more fun things. as you can see, the blocks, each block will be in position to fill in one of those holes. Now eventually, as you can see, they kick those dream bags around. So, I mean, if you wait long enough, they might well kick it right into you. But the other thing you can do is wait for them to kick it out near you, and then pull the ice pillar while they're away. So there's that. Alright. Yep, this game is very simple, and it can be a little repetitive, but I think it's a lot of fun. Okay, this bit. These guys are gonna kick everything everywhere. So now you actually want to wait until the chickens come out. Then, you know, you want to... excuse me. You want to, because you want to be careful, because you would just as soon the chickens and the noggles be frozen solid rather than giving you trouble. So, there we go. There we go, and that's easy enough. And now that nothing's moving, there you go. Oh, right, we still actually have to get this one dream bag in the center. But that was easy enough. Yeah. The easy dream bags, you can get so caught up in trying to get the ones that are hard to get to that you actually forget. Okay, this is quite possibly the only, this is quite possibly the hardest, and is really the only one that really requires reflexes. Don't go left. That will be that's your first instinct, because, you know, at least in this society, we tend to do everything left or right. Don't go left. You're going to want to go right and basically, you know, do this thing where you go around the spines. And then, there you are. It's, if you know the right way to go, you're fine. It doesn't require that much twitch reflexes. The spinies don't go that fast. But you have to know, but if you go left, you can do it, but you will be doing a lot more running around. Okay, so we need to be careful here, because these guys, they cannot be frozen either. You can kill them, but of course, you will just... Oh, dang it! Come on, move. Yeah, they'll just respawn, so you want to be careful. So we do this. Good. Ha ha. Okay. Wait. Good. And there. Good. Ah, right, I forgot. But there we go, we got it. Yeah, this is one of those first where you really learn to use the ice pillars for stoppers in a sliding puzzle. It will get much, much worse. Okay, this one. You follow the spiny around. When you get a shot at the noggle, take it. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. There we go. And then, you know, just don't ever stop, don't ever go back. Because every time you take a shot at a noggle, you lose a little ground. And you do not want to lose ground to that spine. Oh, dang it. So be careful. You know, do it as best you can. All right, that should do it. Great. Now the spiny is actually going to go in there. So come back out this way, wait, and just go in and get them. That's really what you do. Just take the shots only when you know you can get them and keep moving otherwise. So, yeah, we're not doing too bad. Alright. This one gets a bit funny. Alright, so... Alright, and of course the thing you have to remember. So we do this. Alright. And you cannot freeze the bombs, so you may find yourself wanting to, you know, you may find yourself wanting to lead them away from your ice blocks so that, you know, they don't explode them. Because then that happens. Well, that was one way of handling it. There we go. Okay, so what we're gonna do is... Yep, that'll happen. Oh, and that was just badly done. Yep, you gotta be really careful, because this sort of crap happens. Or they can destroy your pillar. So, alright, so, kick him up, and then him up. Right. And that blows in the right direction, so that you don't get, so that you get the land. So that's, yeah, it's, you know, that one, the hardest thing to do really is keep the bombs from blowing up your setup. Okay, this one. You might want to, the best way to do this is, I think, the track back. You know you have to kick something up the middle. So, of course, we have this ice block, and so something has to be kicked into this ice block. So it would have to come down being kicked into this ice block, which means it would have had to have been stopped at this ice block, which means it had to have been hit at this ice block, which means it got stopped at this ice block. And so now, of course, you know what to do. Now you get to do it quickly, while making sure you don't run into the spiny, and nothing melts. And then you kick it up, and be careful. Because now you've got two of them going in opposite directions, and that can do weird things. But we made it. So that's really what's important. Alright. Okay, now this one is really where you're going to want to do a track back. You know that something has to come up here. Okay, so obviously it has to be hit into this position from a hammer. So it has to have been kicked into there by this hammer, which means it had to have come down from there. But there's nowhere actually it could have come from, so... Right, so if we were trying to kick it up, it would have to come into this hammer from this side. From the hammer, which winds up in that position. Dude, okay. So if it went into this hammer, right, so... Okay, hold on a second, sorry. Right, so if it... Right, so it has to hit into this hammer from... Oh, crud! Wow, that was fast, you know. Okay, so if it goes down into this hammer, so it has to be hit down, which means it has to hit this hammer from this way. So, to have been hit into that hammer, it has to be hit, this hammer has to hit this down, which means it has to hit it that way, which means it has to come up. Which the only way to do that is from this hammer, which, let's see, to hit it up, the hammer has to be in this position, and it gets hit from the side, from this hammer. So that hammer had to have been, I think they respawn, but yeah, they do. Okay, but, so, hammer goes up into that one. Alright, let's just try it this way. So if you get lost doing a track back, which sometimes I do a track forward. You know that this one has to go up into this hammer. At which point, it will get knocked into this hammer, and then get knocked upward into this hammer, at which point it will go across here and hit that hammer, which will then flip around and knock it down into this hammer, which will knock it back over, but it will hit this hammer, which will then be in the new position, which will then knock it down into that hammer, which will swing it around and knock it that way, which will swing it around and knock it this way, and up into this hammer, and over into that hammer. Okay, let's try it from here and let's see what happens. That's the other thing you want to do, is if you get lost figuring it all out, you know, just start kicking it, and there we go. Yeah, this one is in fact a one and done. So, and here we have Lego blocks. And these are the only Lego blocks we've seen. Yes, they're... The palace was sealed into the world of the Wizard King, sob, sob. Sob, sob. Now magic rain is falling. The gate to the magic world is going to open. Please, Kickle, beat the Wizard King and get back the palace. Okay, this next bit, it's not nearly as bad as the previous one, but it is a little flashy as the magic rain falls and the thing changes color. So once again, if you're visually sensitive, keep your eyes closed and I'll tell you when the flashing bits stop. Though this is very involved. Let's see, so yes, the magic rain falls, things get all splashy and bright. And okay, it's not really flashing anymore, so we get rainbows. You can look, obviously. The rainbows turn into music notes. Seriously, I think this was a little overproduced given the time period. And everything explodes. And we fall into the hole, which is, I guess, draining the ocean. Through the flying rocks. I don't know. It's a little strange. And here we are, the Toyland Palace. And now we are going to face the Wizard King. Yeah, this guy's a little strange. Hee, how dare you come up here? How can you defeat me? Mostly through sheer perseverance. This guy actually can be a real problem. If you're wondering about his appearance, he's a snowman. It's more common in Japan, but snowmen often have, instead of top hats and button nose and two eyes made out of coal, they've been known to have buckets for heads, or helmets. So, his snake staff spits out a ball which will run you over, and you have to freeze it to turn it into a block to attack him with. Otherwise, you just can't. He will jump in the air and attempt to land on you, and if you don't lead him right, he might land on the block, which is not fun. He takes 6 hits. That was our third. One of the things I have found, is that one of the best things to do is to, if you can, make sure you get the 5 block frozen over here. Because if you can get him to land to the side, and get him like that. Okay, that went much smoother than it had any right to. I usually die to this guy at least once or twice. And then everything starts shaking. Okay. Kickle, my precious Kickle, don't die. Please open your eyes again. And Kickle, where am I now? You came around. I am the youngest daughter of King Toys, Princess Mira. She's the one whose ring we've found, like, once. Is King Toys safe and sound? The Wizard King is dead, isn't he? Thank goodness you are all right. That's not an answer. Come on, they are all waiting for you. I guess that is sort of an answer. So, you know, we follow her out. This is the main palace, I guess, with all the Lego stuff. It's some cute, cheerful music. And we're still not completely recovered because we fall on our face. Luckily. How did this guy get past the Nintendo censors at the time? King Toys. Oh, Kickle, you came around. You were blown away when the world of the Wizard King disappeared. Now the palaces are all back. And the Fantasy Kingdom has revived. Thank you indeed, Kickle. No one is happier than my daughter Mira. Isn't it so, Mira, my dear? No kidding, Father. Okay. I was really worried about you. It was a good deed. This is just to show my thanks. Okay then. Standard hero reward. Thus, peace was restored to the Fantasy Kingdom, which had been covered by darkness, and the palaces were once again joyful. Kickle happily married Princess Mira and became the Prince of the Kingdom, and the Fantasy Kingdom was filled with happiness and dreams forever. Okay then. And now we get, of course, the credits, presented by Irem. The credits, they're kind of, well, credity. Yeah, it's just a thing. Now, please enjoy a special game. Yeah, that's right. We don't actually get credits until you beat the special game, I don't think. So you press start, and now we get the special game. This is where the game gets hard. But, you know, we've gotten through Toyland and beaten the main part of the game. And as you can see, this is already going to take more thought than before. So, you know, be with us next time when I will take on probably the first 10 levels of the special game. I don't know how long that'll take. It should take less time. They should be shorter than previous ones. But then again, if I keep messing up, they might be longer. So, thank you for joining me, and you guys have a great evening. Goodbye.